Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
So welcome back to our Ali Review Series Practice Quiz, and we now have part 7 of our History and Theory of Architecture. This time we're focusing on Space, Form, and Order by D.K. Ching. So before we start with the quiz, get a piece of paper and write down numbers 1 to 30. Para mamaya, when you start with the quiz, you can easily write down the letter of the best choice from the multiple choice, and you are given 10 seconds to finalize your answer. And at the end of the quiz, count your total number of your correct answers and compare it with the score categories. So if you are ready, we can now start with the quiz. Number 1. What is the darkness of an object not in direct light? A. Shade, B. Shadow, C. Tint, and D. Glare. And our correct answer is letter A, shade. So shade refers to the darkness that occurs when an object or area is blocking direct light from reaching another object or area. The object itself isn't necessarily creating a visible outline, but it's causing the area to be less illuminated. So the shade refers to the dark area on parts of a solid that are turned away from a light source. On the other hand, shadow, this one, are the dark figures cast upon a surface by a part of a body intercepting the rays from a theoretical light source. Number 2. What is primarily concerned with judging the true value of statements and seeking errors? A. Deductive reasoning, B. Critical thinking, C. Inductive reasoning, D. Lateral thinking. And our correct answer is letter B, critical thinking. So critical thinking is a broad cognitive process that involves actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating information gathered from or generated by observation, experience, reflection, reasoning, or communication as a guide to belief and action. A core component of this is judging the true value of statements and actively seeking out errors or flaws in reasoning. Number 3. Feng Shui is a Chinese belief based on A. Traditions, B. Geomancy, C. Customs, and D. Science. And our correct answer is letter B, geomancy. So geomancy literally means earth divination or divination by means of figures or lines or geographic features. Feng Shui is a practice that involves arranging and designing spaces in harmony with the natural environment and energy flows, the key or the chi, to bring good fortune and balance. This aligns perfectly with the definition of geomancy, as it's about interpreting and influencing the energies of the land and its features. Number 4. What is the creative process of generating, developing, and communicating new ideas? A. Brainstorming, B. Innovation, C. Ideation, and D. Actualization. And our correct answer is letter C, ideation. So ideation is the complete creative process of generating, developing, and communicating new ideas. It encompasses the initial spark, the refinement of the concept, and how it's presented to others. On the other hand, when you say brainstorming, it is a technique used within the ideation process, specifically for generating a large number of ideas in a short period. Innovation refers to the successful implementation of new ideas, and actualization means to realize or make real. In a creative context, it might refer to bringing an idea to fruition. So this is the design process: define, collect, brainstorm and analyze, develop, feedback, and improve. Number 5. What type of form consists of a number of secondary forms clustered about a dominant parent form? A. Clustered forms. B. Linear forms. C. Radial forms. And D. Centralized forms. And our correct answer is letter D, centralized forms. So this one is a centralized form, a number of secondary forms clustered about a dominant central parent form. On the other hand, a clustered form is like this. It is a collection of forms that are grouped together by proximity or the sharing of a common visual trait. Linear forms, on the other hand, is a series of forms arranged sequentially in a row, and radial form is a composition of linear forms extending outward from a central form in a radial manner. On the other hand, we have the grid form is a set of modular forms that are related and repeated or regulated by a three-dimensional grid. Number 6. It has 6 planes, different orientation, and the 5 planes meet at a single apex. A. Sphere. B. Cylinder. C. Cube. And D. Pentagon pyramid. And our correct answer is letter D, pentagon pyramid. So a pentagonal pyramid is a three-dimensional geometric shape with a pentagon at its base, and we have the 5 rectangular faces that meet at a single point called the apex. It has a total of 6 faces, 10 edges, and 6 vertices. Number 7. An interpersonal space, that which is used for talking with family and close friends. The zone of distance is characterized by 46 to 76 centimeters or 76 to 122 centimeters of space between individuals. A. Public space. B. Social distance. B. Intimate space. And D. Personal space. And our correct answer is letter D, personal space. So personal space is 46 to 122 centimeters or 1.5 to 4 feet. These are for interactions among good friends or family. This is the bubble around us for informal conversations. Intimate space is 0 to 46 centimeters or 0 to 18 inches for embracing, touching, or whispering, and is reserved for close friends, lovers, children, and close family members. Social distance, on the other hand, 1.2 to 3.7 meters or 4 to 12 feet, are for interactions among acquaintances, colleagues, or in more formal settings. And public space will be 3.7 meters or 12 feet or more that are used for public speaking or addressing large groups. Number 8. It is the state or quality of being identical, homogeneous, or regularity. A. Emphasis. B. Contrast. C. Order. And D. Uniformity. And our correct answer is letter D, uniformity. That is the definition. And number 9, an applied science concerned with the characteristics of people that need to be considered in the design of devices and systems in order that people and things will interact effectively and safely. A. Anthropometrics. B. Kinesthetics. C. Proxemics. And D. Ergonomics. And our correct answer is letter D, ergonomics. It is an applied science concerned with the characteristics of people that need to be considered the design of devices and systems in order that people will interact and things will interact effectively and safely. It is a special field that has developed from a concern with human factors, and it is the applied science that coordinates the design of devices, systems, and environments with our physiological and psychological capacities and requirements. Number 10. The size or proportion of something relative to an accepted standard of measurement. A. Module, B. Human scale, C. Visual scale, and D. Mechanical scale. And our correct answer is letter D, mechanical scale. So mechanical scale is the size or proportion of something that is relative to an accepted standard of measurement, and comparing that with visual scale, which means the size or proportion an element appears to have relative to other elements of known or assumed size. Number 11. Any of dimensions determined by bodily position and movement such as reach, stride, or clearance. A. Functional dimension, B. Dynamic fit, C. Static fit, and D. Structural dimension. And our correct answer is letter A, functional dimension. So this refers to the measurements of a person in various working or moving postures. It takes into account reach, stride, clearance, and other movements that are crucial for design, especially in ergonomics. So the functional dimensions will vary according to the nature of the activity engaged in and the social situation. So number 12, among the color choices, what is not used by Le Corbusier in Ronchamp chairs? A. Red, B. Green, C. Yellow, and D. Blue. And our correct answer is letter D, blue. So Le Corbusier's design for the Ronchamp chairs is characterized by a vibrant, expressive use of color, primarily with shades of red, green, and yellow. These colors are seen as symbolic of religious fervor and the building's connection to the natural world. Blue, on the other hand, is not employed in the building's palette and would contrast significantly with the overall design. Number 13. It is referred as rotation of arcs at the center. A. Dome, B. Arch, C. Ellipse, D. Triangle. And our correct answer is letter A, dome. So a dome is a vaulted structure having a circular plan and usually the form of a portion of a sphere, so constructed as to exert an equal thrust in all directions. A dome is a structural element that resembles the hollow upper half of a sphere. It is essentially formed by rotating an arch or a segment of a circle curve around its central vertical axis. This continuous rotation creates the characteristic curved, self-supporting structure. Number 14. Attribute of color that determine the amount of color. A. Hue, B. Chroma, C. Intensity, and D. None of the above. And our correct answer is letter B, chroma. So chroma, or saturation, determines the intensity or vividness of a color. A higher chroma means a more intense pure color, while lower chroma means a duller, more grayed out color. Chroma refers to the strength or the purity of a color, which determines how much of the color is present. It reflects the amount or saturation of the hue. So this is the lightness of the color, and intensity, on the other hand, is often used interchangeably with chroma or saturation. But in strict color theory, chroma is the more precise term when referring to the amount of color relative to gray. On the other hand, when you say hue, it is the name of the color itself, and value will be parts of black and parts of white. So number 15, appropriate color for fast food: A, yellow; B, orange; C, white; and D, red. And our correct answer is letter D, red. So red is the most commonly used color in fast food branding and interior because it stimulates appetite, increases heart rate, and creates a sense of urgency and excitement, and encourages quick decision making and faster eating, which is ideal for fast food turnover. Yellow and orange are also common in fast food environments as they convey warmth and friendliness, but red is the most dominant and appropriate choice. Number 16, referred as only one color in a scheme: A, monochromatic scheme; B, achromatic scheme; C, monotone scheme; and D, tone. And our correct answer is letter A, monochromatic scheme. So a monochromatic scheme, the color scheme is defined by using variations, tints, colors, and shades of a single hue color. The prefix mono means one, and chroma refers to color, directly indicating one color. So achromatic scheme is wherein the scheme consists of colors without hue, primarily black, white, and various shades of gray. So tint means adding white to the color, and shade is adding black to the color, and value will be the lights and darks of an object. Number 17, which among is not a secondary color? A, orange; B, violet; C, green; and D, yellow. And our correct answer is letter D, yellow. So the secondary colors will be green, orange, and violet. Number 18, a color that connotes purity: A, white; B, black; C, gray; and D, blue. And our correct answer, of course, is white. White is the color of purity and innocence. White is a true balance of all colors. It is associated with cleanliness, simplicity, and perfection. It loves to make others feel good and provides hope and clarity by refreshing and purifying the mind. It also promotes open-mindedness and self-reflection. Number 19, colors used to produce combination of colors: A, primary colors; B, secondary colors; C, tertiary colors; and D, triadic colors. And our correct answer is letter A, primary colors. So primary colors are the foundation of all other colors. They cannot be made by mixing other colors, but they can be combined to produce all other colors, including secondary and tertiary colors. Number 20. In design, what color reflects more light? A, international red; B, white; C, midnight black; and D, yellow. And our correct answer is white. So white surfaces reflect nearly all visible wavelengths of light, making them the most reflective and effective at brightening spaces. It does not absorb any colors. Compare that with black. because black absorbs all colors of white light. Number 21. In a color wheel, what color has long wavelength? A. Blue, B. Red, C. Black, and D. Orange. And our correct answer is letter B, red. So red has 620 to 750 nanometers and considered as the color with the longest wavelength. Ito yung pinakamahaba na wavelength. And 22, which color predominates? A, red, B, yellow, C, white, and D, blue. And our correct answer is letter A, red. So red would generally be perceived as the predominant color among these choices. Red is a warm color and has the longest wavelength in the visible spectrum. This makes it highly stimulating, appear to advance or come forward, and generally grabs attention more effectively than cooler colors like blue or neutrals like white. 23. In a color wheel, it is a combination of three colors forming an equilateral triangle. A. Double complementary, B. Triad, C. Analogous, and D. Complementary. And our correct answer is letter B, triad. So a triad color scheme on the color wheel consists of three colors that are evenly spaced, forming an equilateral triangle. For example, the primary triad will be the red, yellow, and the blue. And the secondary triad, or the secondary colors, will be the green, orange, and purple. Other triads will be yellow-green, blue-violet, red-orange, and we also have the yellow-orange, red-violet, and blue-green. Number 24. What color would represent energy and hunger? A. Blue, B. Yellow, C. Black, and D. Orange. And our correct answer is letter D, orange. So orange is a warm, energetic color that combines the passion of red and the cheerfulness of yellow. It is commonly associated with energy, excitement, appetite, stimulation, warmth, and enthusiasm. That's why many food brands and fast food chains use orange and red. Wala kasi red sa choices, no? In their branding to encourage hunger and quick action. Number 25. Any two colors which are directly opposite each other, such as red and green, and purple-red, and yellow-green. A. Double complementary, B. Complementary, C. Triad, and D. Analogous. And our correct answer is complementary colors. So these are pairs of colors that are directly opposite each other on the color wheel. When placed next to each other, they create a strong contrast and tend to make each other appear more vibrant. Examples include red and green, blue and orange, yellow and purple. And the examples given here, purple, red, and yellow-green, are also complementary pairs. Number 26. A combination of two analogous colors and their complementary colors on a color wheel. A. Double complementary, B. Complementary, C. Triad, and D. Analogous. And our correct answer is letter A, double complementary. So a double complementary color scheme uses two pairs of complementary colors. When those two colors are analogous or next to each other on the color wheel, and you take their direct opposites, you get a double complementary scheme. So ito yung double complementary. This one is a double complementary. Number 27, any three colors which are side by side on a 12-part color wheel, such as yellow-green, yellow, and yellow-orange. A, double complementary, B, complementary, C, triad, and D, analogous. And our correct answer is letter D, analogous. So analogous colors are three colors that sit side by side on a 12-part color wheel. So ito yung analogous, tabi-tabi, no? And number 28, in articulation, there are certain changes in material color and texture. This is done by removing the corner and articulating it through change of material or lighting the form so as to produce tonal differences of form. A, additive form, B, articulation of form, C, surface articulation, and D, subtractive form cluster. And our correct answer is articulation of form. So articulation refers to the manner in which the surfaces of a form come together to define its shape and volume. An articulated form clearly reveals the precise nature of its parts and their relationships to each other and to the whole. Its surfaces appear as discrete planes with distinct shapes, and their overall configuration is legible and easily perceived. In a similar manner, an articulated group of forms accentuates the joints between the constituent parts in order to visually express their individuality. So a form can be articulated by 1. Differentiating adjoining planes with a change in material, color, texture, or pattern. Number 2, developing corners as distinct linear elements independent of the abutting planes. Ito yung corners, ito yung colors kanina, no? And removing corners to physically separate the neighboring planes. And lastly is lighting the form to create sharp contrast in tonal value along edges and corners. Number 29. What form is non-directional? A, line, B, point, C, vector, and D, ray. And our correct answer is letter B, point. So a point marks a position in space. Conceptually, it has no length, width, or depth, and is therefore static, centralized, and directionless. As the prime element in the vocabulary form, a point can serve to mark the two ends of a line, or the intersection of two lines, or the meeting of lines at the corner of a plane or volume, or the center of a field. And lastly, if a point is extended, it acquires length and direction. What is it called? A, line, B, plane, C, dots, and D, vector. And our correct answer is letter A, line. So a point extended becomes a line. Conceptually, a line has length, but no width or depth, whereas a point is by nature static. A line, in describing the path of a point in motion, is capable of visually expressing direction, movement, and growth. And that's it. So you can now count your total correct answers and check whether your total score is 15 or less, because that is now time for a more strategic review. So if you want to have a more comprehensive review in preparing for the board exams, you can scan the QR code here and know more about the review courses at Atlas CDC Review Center. So watch out for my succeeding videos.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
Enroll at Atlas CDC Review for a comprehensive prep for the Architecture Board exams. Message us now.